Good afternoon. You're watching the afternoon news for Thursday, 23rd July 2026, bringing you the latest news update from India. NEET row deepens. CJP leads nationwide protests. Opposition demands accountability. The controversy surrounding the NEET paper leak and India's examination system has now turned into a nationwide political confrontation. With protests continuing in Delhi, Mumbai and several other parts of the country, the Cockroach Janata Party or CJP has emerged as one of the leading voices on the streets. The party is demanding the resignation of the education minister, while other political parties are demanding accountability from ministers allegedly connected to the paper leak controversy. But the anger is not limited to the alleged examination irregularities. Protesters are also accusing the police of mistreating demonstrators, adding another layer to an already escalating confrontation. For students, the issue began with one question: was the examination process fair? But as the controversy has grown, the question has become much larger. Who should be held responsible? The Cockroach Janata Party or CJP is leading protests demanding the resignation of the education minister. The party says that when the credibility of a national examination affecting millions of students comes under serious question, political responsibility cannot be avoided. CJP leaders and protesters are demanding a transparent investigation, accountability at the highest levels, and action against everyone found responsible for the alleged paper leak. Other political parties have also joined the growing demand for accountability. Their demands include the resignation of ministers allegedly involved in or responsible for the examination controversy. The opposition is arguing that students and families cannot be expected to bear the consequences of administrative failure, while those in positions of authority avoid responsibility. For the protesters, this is not simply a political battle. It is a question of the future of millions of young people. Students preparing for NEET often spend years studying, attending coaching classes, and making enormous financial and personal sacrifices. A question mark over the integrity of the examination can therefore have life-changing consequences. That is why protesters are demanding more than just an investigation. They want a system that is transparent, secure, and accountable. They want to know how the alleged paper leak happened, who benefited from it, and whether officials or political figures failed in their responsibilities. But the protests have also opened another front of confrontation. Protesters and political parties have accused the police of mistreating demonstrators during protests. They allege that protesters were handled harshly and that police action went beyond what was necessary to maintain law and order. The protesters are now demanding accountability for alleged police misconduct as well. The police and authorities, however, face the challenge of maintaining public order as demonstrations spread across major cities. The question now is whether the situation will be resolved through dialogue and investigation, or whether the political confrontation will intensify. At the center of the controversy are several competing demands. The CJP is calling for the education minister's resignation. Other political parties are demanding accountability and the resignation of ministers allegedly linked to the controversy. Students are demanding a fair and credible examination system, and protesters are demanding action over what they describe as police mistreatment. The government, meanwhile, faces growing pressure to establish the facts through a credible and transparent investigation. Because at stake is more than the result of one examination. At stake is the confidence of students in the institutions that control their future. The NEET controversy has now become a national debate about examinations, political accountability, and the treatment of citizens who take to the streets to protest. The questions being raised are direct. Who is responsible for the alleged paper leak? Will political accountability follow? Will ministers face consequences if wrongdoing is established? And will there be an independent investigation into allegations of police mistreatment? As protests continue in Delhi, Mumbai and other parts of the country, one thing is clear. The NEET controversy is no longer confined to classrooms, examination centers or courtrooms. It has become a political movement on the streets. And the protesters' message is clear. They want accountability, they want resignations, and they want an examination system in which every student can believe that their hard work and not a leak, a connection or a failure of administration will decide their future. Reporters sign off. With protests continuing and political pressure mounting, the coming days may determine whether the government responds with major reforms and accountability, or whether the nationwide movement grows even further. For now, the streets are demanding answers, and the central demand remains simple: a fair examination, a transparent investigation, and responsibility from those in power. That's all for now from the India Pulse News.
Stay informed, stay aware, and have a productive day ahead.